outfittersrating.com, enter. You've entered outfittersrating.com. Program engaged. Welcome, Bill. Welcome, Doug. Select this week's adventure. Select species, elephant. Select location, Zimbabwe. Select outfitter, Smith Dunham Safaris. Outfittersrating.com TV starts now.
Outfitters Rating TV's Doug Hamric is in Zimbabwe to hunt elephant.
The Zambezi.
Hunting elephant. Dangerous and exciting? Definitely. Controversial? Unfortunately and unfairly, yes. Necessary for the survival of the species? Absolutely. For species after species the world over, hunters play a vital role in game management. Yet with elephants, that role is often misunderstood and even vilified.
It's been a little bit different experience for me this week. I'm a hunter at heart. That's what I do. I don't hide it. I don't make excuses for it. But I had an eye-opening experience this week that changed my perspective on some things that I had no idea until I was here and got to see it. And this elephant hunting thing is much bigger, if you will, than you can imagine. And it really is a conservation issue.
The overall numbers of African elephants has decreased over the past century, due mostly to poaching and loss of habitat. The Outfitters Rating TV crew has gathered elephant footage in Botswana, South Africa, and now Zimbabwe. In these locations, there is evidence of thriving elephant herds. In some locations, there's also ample evidence that these herds are simply too large for the available habitat to support. When a herd of elephants moves into an area, the wake of destruction they leave is clear. Doug is hunting with Smith Dunham Safaris in Zimbabwe. His guide is Phidelus Muchenga. For Doug to be allowed to hunt in the area, the invitation starts with the people who live here. When elephants come into an area inhabited by farmers, it turns these people's lives upside down. Their crops are threatened. Their lives are in danger.
Yeah, those poles, they killed another woman last year.
The elephants killed a woman here?
Yes.
Phidelus interpreted for me, and I got to meet the family there, and it was heart-changing for me.
For the villagers, the danger is real. Their fear is palpable. If their crops are destroyed, there is no safety net.
She doesn't have oxen to plow, so she's using the hoe to do it.
So she hoes all of them through the fields, all by hand?
Yeah, by hand, yes.
No ox?
No ox.
So that's even more devastating. One elephant gets in here,
Yes.
and their crops can be gone for the whole year.
What's next?
There's nothing else.
Nothing else.
They were scared for their lives. They didn't know what they were going to do. The elephants were coming in, damaging their crops, and one or two elephants can wipe a whole field of corn out in one night. And that's what they live on. That's their money, that's their food. And the elephants just walking through it, let alone eating it. It was emotional for me to see it. And she was talking about her kids. Her kids couldn't go to school because in the past they had damage. Elephants had damaged their crops. They had no money.
Here are the people who are being affected. We are talking to the people who are affected. These are the crops. You see, which elephants are being destroyed.
It opened my eyes a little bit as I was standing there listening to her. I got emotional. You could feel it.
Well, I would be scared to death, especially with the smaller children. You know, how you let them out of your sight when you know they're here.
It's serious for them. It's not us sitting in North America watching TV talking about the elephants going extinct or the elephants as a problem. This is where it happens. This is real. I started having a little bit of a change of heart, and I thought, you know, I want the big bull, but they're telling me the matriarch cow is what, if we take one of those, the herd will leave, and sometimes for a number of years. If we take a bull, it can scare the herd off, but a lot of times they'll come back a lot sooner. If we take the matriarch cow, the leader of the pack in essence, they move away and they stay away longer. So initially, begrudgingly, I told Phidelus, okay, let's go after the cow.
This is wild country. Numerous local villagers are out in the bush, gladly serving as eyes and ears, working to assist Doug and Phidelus. Normally, Doug would be excited by the adventure. The excitement is there, but now, knowing the success of this venture has a much deeper meaning, he heads into the bush with focus like never before. He simply must not fail. Outfitters Rating TV returns in a moment.
Outfitters Rating TV is brought to you by OutfittersRating.com. Trust, but verify. EuroOptic.com, the source for premium firearms and optics. Swagger, broadheads that open so fast you can hear the swag. Khmer Deer, the revolutionary deer attractant. And by Leica.
Doug Hamric for OutfittersRating.com. Folks, you cannot believe the number of emails and phone calls we receive from people on bad trips. Some literally to the point of tears because they've saved for years. Others not happy because they're not getting those services as contracted. OutfittersRating.com can eliminate those risks and help you book with confidence. Actually, we're getting a lot of emails and phone calls thanking us for the service. It's working, folks. OutfittersRating.com.
Doug Hamric traveled to Zimbabwe with high hopes of experiencing a great adventure.
Got a good wind.
The adventure is here, yet Doug's hunt has taken on a deeper meaning. When elephants come into an area inhabited by farmers, it turns these people's lives upside down. Their crops are threatened. Their lives are in danger. Unlike some parts of Africa, this area of Zimbabwe has ample natural habitat for these elephants. In the past, controlled hunting has worked to drive the animals back into this native area. The villagers have placed all their hopes on this tactic working once again. If elephants are running unchecked in the area where their children play and their families work the fields and herd their flocks, they truly have just two choices. They could allow poachers into the area who would come in and potentially decimate the herd. Or they can invite big game hunters to take select animals. It is this choice that brings Doug to Zimbabwe.
I love the hunting. I'm a hunter. Okay. But to know that we're doing this much good and helping these people,
Yes.
and the local government and environment,
Yes.
that feels good.
Yes, nice.
That feels good.
The conservation aspect is considerable, but Doug remains aware of the fact that this is an extremely dangerous hunt. He's equipped with a Blauser 458 lot, shooting Federal Premium's Cape Shock 500-grain trophy-bonded sledgehammer solid. He's carrying top-of-the-line optics from Leica.
Can't leave home without the Leicas.
Equipment-wise, he's leaving nothing to chance.
So Rob Dunham from Smith Dunham Safaris called me up, said, Doug, we got a problem control animal over in Zimbabwe. Any chance you could come over and help us out with it? And I said, absolutely. And he said, well, we're talking about the next few days. I give Alex Roy at Euro Optics a call. I said, Alex, heading over for a elephant hunt. What can you set me up with? He got me the Blauser and the 458 lot, overnighted it to me. These guys are really good at what they do. Had the package the next day, got to shoot it. A few days later, I was on a plane headed to Zimbabwe.
The villagers have seen many elephants in this area as recently as last night. Doug and guide Phidelus Muchenga take up the track.
Running away from those people.
There's people there with the cows. Yeah. Oh, it was a fun start. Can we do a couple more of this? We just last night talked about the possibility of having to take one that we didn't want.
Yes.
And there was about 2 seconds there.
2 seconds.
I was waiting for you to pull. Yes. I was getting ready to shoot it right there.
Yes, I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
If you wanted to put another step forward, I was going to beg.
Yeah.
If Doug wasn't keenly aware of the danger he's facing, he is now.
As soon as we got close, they bull rushed us, and they got within about a half a step of the guide shooting, and I was going to shoot right on his report. Luckily, we didn't have to. They turned at the last minute there at about 15 yards. That's exciting.
Heart racing, he takes a deep breath and heads deeper into the bush. Outfitters Rating TV returns in a moment.
Hey, don't let us have all the fun. Sign up for our team membership, outfittersrating.com. Come along with us on these trips. We have great packages. We go to beautiful places. We'd love to have you come along. outfittersrating.com.
Outfittersrating.com will change the way you look at outfitters and charters. Outfitters, if you do what you say you do and run a quality business, it's a no-brainer. It's free, it's quick, and it's simple. Hunters and fishermen, now you have the resources to verify you get what you pay for. All you have to do is visit the outfitter testimonials on the site and you'll understand why you want to be here.
Outfittersrating.com. Trust but verify.
At EuroOptic.com, we provide only the finest optics and shooting products available, including night vision and thermal vision monoculars, goggles, and weapon sights from brands you trust, like Benelli, EOTech, Sako, and Night Force. So the next time you're looking for quality optics or firearms, call us at 570-220-3159 or visit us at EuroOptic.com.
You want to supercharge your corn, grain, or protein pellets? Try new Khmer Deer Corn Coat. Whatever you treat, the deer will eat. And Corn Coat is so simple to mix. You just pour it in and shake it up. We have had some absolutely amazing results by using Khmer Deer Corn Coat. You gotta try it. Khmer Deer.
Phidelus, you were saying that the locals said the elephants come through again last night,
Yes,
right through the village, right through the cornfields here. We can see the tracks.
Yes, they did come.
Right behind us.
Right behind us. As you can see the tracks, they are destroying the crops for the people.
Doug Hamric's trip to hunt elephant in Zimbabwe has been an eye-opening experience. He knew going into the trip that he was playing an important conservation role. But meeting the villagers who are impacted by the animals' presence and hearing their stories of desperation and loss firsthand has brought a new sense of purpose to his trip. Doug and guide Phidelus Muchenga faced down a small herd and were fortunate they didn't have to fire. This herd did not contain the matriarchal female they need to take in order to drive the animals from the area. With the assistance of local trackers, they continue their search.
So after we had that mock rush, we got back on the trail, the tracks of the elephants, and we moved in. And what happens is you follow their trail, but you stop every now and then and listen. And when you get in range, you will hear them. It sounds like a bulldozer going through the woods. Just when they're feeding, they're breaking branches, they're pushing trees over. We move in, and there are elephants everywhere. Pick that matriarch out pretty quick, the leader of the pack. As soon as they realized something was going on, they weren't sure, they sensed us, maybe they got a little bit of a smell of us, they started to move, and then we just did a flanking move, tried to parallel them. We found the matriarch, which was pretty easy. She was right out front, and she started to coming toward us a little bit to figure out what was going on. We ended up taking a little longer shot than we wanted. We opened sights and we shot about 80 yards and we tried for the brain shot. Didn't get a good solid brain shot, but it was enough to kill it. I did throw a second shot in as she turned, but she didn't go very far and piled up right away, and the other elephants moved out pretty quick. Phidelus, again, you know I come for a trophy bull.
Yes, I do.
We talked about that. Everybody wants that big bull, and I wanted that big bull. But my mind changed when I met that lady in the village, that first village, when she come out and she was literally jumping up and down and clapping and cheering, her and the children, knowing we were there to help with the elephants. They were scared for their life. They were scared for their crops. A lady had been killed there 2 years ago, the year before last. And it changed from a hunt to a conservation thing for me at that point.
Yes.
And you know, you said I could kill a bull, and there were bigger bulls here in the herd,
Yes.
but this was the animal this is the matriarch that was causing the problems.
Right.
She was leading them in, she was doing it, and I saw that in the herd. She come out front, she wasn't afraid of us at all. So we've done a lot more good. I don't get my big bull trophy, but that's not what it's about, is it? It's about helping, it's about doing the right thing,
Yes.
and I'm gonna go home happier, to be honest with you. Thanks for opening my eyes, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good job.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, get the rope. We got to drag this thing out,
Okay.
North American style.
In one sense, the hunt is over. Doug has pulled the trigger and the giant lead cow lies dead. But there is much more to the story. Outfitters Rating TV returns in a moment.
Recently, a series of grueling tests were conducted to show the performance of today's top broadheads. Test 1, durability. Swacker shows its toughness. Test 2, penetration. Crushes this shoulder blade, cutting 18 inches deep. Test 3, extreme angles. Swacker dominates the quartering shot. See how the Swacker performed in all the tests at swacker.com.
In my business, you're only as good as your gear, and nothing I carry gets more use than my optics. From my binoculars to my rangefinder and spotting scope, I trust one brand. I'm Ivan Carter, and that brand is Leica.
Eurooptic.com specializes in premium European optics and firearms. Visit Eurooptic.com for the complete lineup of Leica products.
Outfitters Rating TV is brought to you by outfittersrating.com. Trust, but verify. Eurooptic.com, the source for premium firearms and optics. Swagger, broadheads that open so fast you can hear the swag. Khmer Deer, the revolutionary deer attractant. And by Leica.
Doug Hamric came to Zimbabwe to fulfill his own personal dream of hunting elephant. The hunt was a success, but not in the normal sense. Sure, Doug will cherish the memories of the actual hunt, but it's the faces of the relieved and happy villagers that will forever stay with him. Now that the matriarchal female is gone, the rest of the herd will disperse back into their wild habitat, and the small farming villages of the area can resume their normal lives, at least for a little while.
There's a reverence anytime you take an animal's life, and maybe more so with a creature of this size. But the excitement after that with the guides, the trackers, the PH, and even me after seeing what I saw, realizing what this was going to do, it was amazing. They actually came in last night and early this morning and cut a road all the way through the bush right here to the elephant. And the community is coming. There's more coming already. It's a big party. Now, you've delved out about 10 guys to work on the carcass because you don't need more knives than that.
So that they can cut each other.
And then there's some other guys helping, but then the rest of the men wait.
They're sitting there, wait for the meat. If they are done, those are cutting, everyone will be in line. Then they'll be given each one his piece, so that they'll get a portion.
We have over 100 people here now. Yes. Still people coming.
Yes, still people coming.
And excited. They're all excited.
Yes. They're happy, but they know today, meat.
They quartered up the meat, they counted how many people that they had, and so everybody got to leave with their equal portions. When they were done, there was some intestines, and the manure from the intestines on the ground, and blood. Everything else was gone. Everything was used. It was amazing. They wasted absolutely nothing.
Wait, to see how serious this is the carcass. All is left is just some meat and bones, and they're getting it all. Big game hunting actually helps the species. When the value of that animal stays high, it reduces the poaching. The locals will actually protect the animals from the poaching because they know the money's coming in. The locals get the meat, but the hides and the tusk or the ivories go to the council. The council auctions those off. They get money. Then that money comes back into the villages. So it sustains them as well as helps control them. So they're preaching to us in the mainstream media again, protect the elephants, protect the elephants. They're doing more damage than big game hunters are. We're bringing money, we put our time into it, and it actually helps the communities as well and the environment. It's a win-win all the way around. The only argument that we can have is if you don't agree with taking of that one life of the elephant. And if that's the case, we're going to have to agree to disagree because we're looking at the species as a whole. And if we have to sacrifice a few and it helps the species as a whole, it helps the environment, it helps the community, I think that's a winning argument. Talk to hunters, talk to outfitters. We are the conservationists. We're the greatest conservationists in the world, I believe. We're not going to get rid of those animals. We're going to protect them so that they're there not only for us, for future generations. Hunting is a part of that. Hunting is an important, integral part of conservation and managing any species. It's the same for the elephants. So don't believe everything that you hear. And if you don't believe me, maybe you can come with us next time and we'll show you in person. You know, Outfitters Rating TV, we love going to exotic places all throughout the world. This week we're at Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, and it's just a beautiful place. Make sure to join us next week for another exciting adventure on Outfitters Rating TV.